everyone, it's Keeley here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video where we're going to go and make black rose soap. Now, it's been a while since I've done any piping with my soap, so I pulled out the piping tips and decided to go with something that I do usually feel pretty comfortable piping, and that is some roses. So that's what we're going to do first, and then I'll show you how I'm going to make that soap. Let's go. All right, so I'm ready to start piping these roses, and into my piping bag I've got a Wilton 103 tip. I have just put a bit of soap onto the end of my flower nail here, and I'm going to pick up a piece of greaseproof paper. And what I want to do is in the center of this I want to make a sort of funnel to start building the rose around. So I'm just going to squeeze my bag and kind of just make a little bit of a round, tight sort of funnel there, and that's going to be the foundation for our rose. Now with my piping tips, I've got the wider end at the bottom, and so that my piping bag is pointed in a little bit, I'm going to pop my piping bag down. I'm going to start to squeeze, and at the same time I'm turning the flower nail, and I kind of move my bag up and down a little bit just to give shape to that petal. Now when I've done one petal, I come back just a little bit and I start my next petal. And on that first one, I'm just trying to get myself 3 little petals to start the center of the rose. Now what I'm going to come do is come back to where one of these sort of petals cross over. I'm going to come back a little bit. I'll pull my piping bag back just slightly so that the petal stands up a little bit more. And I'm going to start turning my nail, squeezing and moving my piping bag up and down, and every time I finish a petal I come back a little bit and I start the next one, and that just creates that crossover of our petals. And when you're doing this, it's always a good idea, or try to remember to turn your flower nail as you're working. Don't try and move your hand around, move that flower nail. So keep this hand still, and as you start building those petals, that's what will give the shape to the rose. So there's our first one. I'm going to try and keep them relatively small because I just want one rose per soap. So again, I'm going to start off with that sort of center cone in the middle here, and then I'm going to start building those leaves or those petals. And the further in you actually hold that piping tip, the more closed the beginning of that rose will look. So you can get lots of different looks on here. If you can't get 3 petals on that first one, don't worry. If you can only get 2, that's fine as well. It just gives your rose a slightly different look, and you can start to build the roses up, and you'll get a sort of feel for when you've added enough petals to that rose to make it look nice and even. So I'm just going to push my soap down a little bit more. I'm going to grab, I've got enough soap on there to be able to grab another piece. You want enough soap on your flower nail to hold this piece of paper still while you're piping, so it doesn't move and distort the shape. So there we've got our center bit, and now we're going to start putting our petals. Now I probably have let my soap sit just a little bit too long, so it's a little bit firmer, which then does push my soap around a little bit, but it is still workable. Just keep building those layers. Now I'm going to try and keep all these roses relatively small, about that sort of size that they fit onto each of my soaps. So I've got to go and pipe another 15 of these, so that I've got 18 for the soap, and then we will get on with making the soap. All right, it is the next day. After finishing piping these, I usually let them sit for the day, just so that they get to be hard enough that I can now actually handle them without squashing them when I put them onto the soap. Now you will see that I do have a few more than 18 on my tray, and that was because I realized that some of these roses actually turned out, you probably can't see them on my gloves there, but I did notice that some of them had turned out a little bit bigger than what I wanted them to, so I just kept piping until I made sure I had enough smaller roses to go on the soaps, and then any that are kind of left over, these will go into my soapy odds and ends, and people can have little soaps in those. Now I have got my oil and my lye water all ready to go. So I'm going to, as always, mix these two together. I'm just going to very gently pour that lye water in so we don't get any splashes. I'll mix it up and then I'm going to separate it out for the colours. And last night I changed my mind. I was going to do this as a white soap with black swirls. And then I just suddenly thought last night, you know what, I've got enough white soaps on my side. I'm actually going to do this as a red base. We'll use the really red mica. And then I've got some black oxide, which we'll do some swirls with. I have some Caribbean green in this one, which I will only need a little bit. We're going to pipe some leaves. And I also have some gold mixed in to some mica, so we can do a bit of a mica drop. Let's start getting all this mixed together. So that's all mixed in, and the fragrance I'm going to use today, this is Black Oud from off of Scent Method. I'm hoping it's going to behave, please. It does have 2.7% vanillin, so I do expect this to darken up a little bit, but it does smell really, really good. And that's kind of another reason why I decided to move away from having a white base, was that slightly higher vanillin. I just figured the red would cope with it better. It's got notes of pepper and incense along with cedar, sandalwood and amber, so it's a real woody sort of smell, but it does have that sort of, for me, a mysterious rose sort of smell, which is why we're going for black roses on this one. I am hoping this is not going to be naughty while we sort the black out. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's always the way. It just, sometimes soap just gets that little bit of a feel to it, and you just know that it's going to do something. Let's pour the rest into the black there. Give that a stir. Now I do have the green sitting over to one side, and I mixed that up until it came to a thick trace, so that we can pipe that out in a bit. Oh, that's still fluid. Just checking. I just always have nightmares of my Dragon Blood soaps. Now what I'm going to do is going to grab this gold mica. I'll just give it a bit of a stir here. And what I'm going to do is drop this into the black from a bit of a height there, so it drops right the way through. Now we're going to go grab the mold. And we're going to start by pouring in all of this red. I'm thinking what we're going to do is a in the pot pour thingy swirl, and then get the hanger in there as well. I've just got my little leveler there to make sure that this is nice and level. And it smells really good. Now I'm going to get my black, and I'm just going to pour it in from fairly high and just tip it all in here as much as I can. In fact, I was going to stop and do the hanger, but then usually I end up with blobs if I do that. So let's go like that. We'll get most of this black out of here. It's so funny, with most things in my life, I am pretty much very decisive, and once I have decided on something, that's it. We do however it is that I have decided. And yet when it comes to soap making, I can change my mind 20 or so times, even in the middle of making soap. It's absolutely crazy how much I change my mind with soap making. But I just want to tip that up just a little bit more. You probably can't see it on the camera, but I can see that there is a good sort of mil difference between how high my lining is there. What I'm now going to do is just finish scraping out the bucket, pouring the rest of the black on the top. We'll do a little bit of a decorative swirl, and then I am going to let this set up a little bit before we start putting the roses and the leaf piping on top. All right, so I have left the soap to sit here for a little while to firm up. So now when we put our roses onto the top, they won't sink into the middle. And I'm gonna try and get them in between my lines. Now I have just tried running my ruler down like I usually do, so we can find where those lines are. However, I think I've saved myself too much green, so the soap hasn't come up quite far enough to get those markings. So we're just gonna hope that I get these in between the lines. Once I've kind of got them on like that, what I will do is just get my ruler and make sure that, yes, that one is, and now that one is. We'll just make sure. It's gonna be a long, slow process to get these on here, but at least they'll go on and we won't have too much damage. Once I've got the roses in place, I will then take that green piping and I'm just going to pop some leaves on either side of the roses. Now I do also have my little skewer here. This might be a bit easier if I just hold that there, grab a rose, pop that in. Oh, look, that's going to be a little bit better, a bit quicker as well. So I'm going to get on with doing that. And when I've got them all in, I will give you a close-up look. So we did have a little bit of a drama with the piping bag. When I looked at it, the actual seal along the seam wasn't very even, and it meant that the soap was pushing on the seam a little bit more than what it usually does, and I was afraid it was going to burst, so I had to swap that piping bag so we didn't get raw soap all over me. But I'm really, really pleased with how this has turned out. I'm so happy that I changed my mind and used a red background rather than a white. We're going to leave this one set up overnight and we'll be back shortly and we'll check out what swirls we've got on the inside. All right, it's the next day and we're ready to cut into black rose and it is smelling so good. I really like this fragrance. Let's pop it onto Ida. Now I did contemplate using the single bar cutter for this one, just so we didn't cut the roses, but then sometimes I find when I do that, when I actually go ahead and use that single bar cutter, because I'm so worried about, you know, getting it between the rose or whatever I'm cutting, I can sometimes cut my bars wrong or winky wonky or something like that. So we're just gonna go with the multi-bar, and I can tell you there weren't too many that actually got, like there's just literally, I think that one has had just a tiny bit cut off, but it hasn't affected the soap. So I'm gonna get my end piece off, which wasn't very interesting at all. And let's take a look, and that is the inside. It's smelling really good now that I've got that off. That one's got a couple of little drops of the gold mica in there. Hopefully as we move down, we'll start to see some more, but I really, really love the swirls that are in this one. Hopefully that gold has not got too lost. Maybe it's as you use the bars, the little bits of gold will show up. That is a shame that we seem to have lost it. But I am really, really, really happy with the swirl of this one and loving the top. It's just so simple. Normally when I do my rose soaps, I have like tons of roses and leaves on them. But lately I've done a couple of soaps, like with the sunflower soap, where I've just popped a single element on the top, and I'm really, really liking the look of it. Oh, that one's got a little bit of gold up around the top there. So probably actually needed just that little bit more of the gold mica to get it to show. But maybe as people use this one, the gold will show as the bar gets thinner. But overall, really, really happy. So there it is. We'll grab these ones. That is my black rose soap. I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me as I made this one. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye.